Atlas Network's 2020 Freedom Dinner. In the past, this event was held in stunning and glamorous locations. But this year, we're bringing you a very special program, right to your home. From New Delhi to New York, Buenos Aires to Beirut, and thousands of offices, town halls, and boardrooms in between, Atlas Network partners work every day to build a free, prosperous, and peaceful world. You expose corruption. You defend every woman's right to work. You ensure access to affordable and nutritious food. You build dynamic business climates. You discover ways to deliver affordable healthcare. And you find innovations to unleash the creativity of the market to solve complex challenges. As we unite around our shared mission tonight, we'll take you around the world to hear from partners and friends of liberty. This evening, we'll announce the winner of the prestigious Templeton Freedom Award and its $100,000 grand prize. You'll also hear from Atlas Network's Tom Palmer as we remember heroes of the freedom movement who have passed in the last year. And we'll raise a glass together during a toast to freedom given by Ron Manners, the recipient of the 2020 Sir Anthony Fisher Achievement Award. It has been a challenging year on many fronts, but it is fitting that the freedom movement's most inspirational annual event comes as we prepare to turn the page on 2020 and tackle the challenges ahead. We are honored and excited to have you with us. Now, live from Washington, D.C., your host for tonight's festivities, CEO of Atlas Network, Brad Lips.
Yes, we are live indeed here in Washington, D.C., and very excited that people are tuning in from all over the world to connect with their peers in the freedom movement and to take some inspiration from the great work that we're going to be celebrating tonight and indeed that we've been discussing over the past 2 days. We've just finished up a very successful 2-day Liberty Forum conference. For highlights, you can check the hashtag LFFD20 on your favorite social media site, or go direct to atlasnetwork.org, click on the News tab, and you'll be able to begin to get caught up on what has transpired these past 2 days. As is our tradition, we hold Freedom Dinner as the grand finale to our flagship annual conference. Some have called this annual gala the Freedom Movement's Academy Awards, and I think that that is, in fact, a pretty apt description, except that our crowd is much friendlier and much better looking. We've also got a lot more international diversity, and unlike the Oscars, we provide a delicious meal too, thanks to our wonderful co-sponsors, the Smith Family Foundation. Now this year, things are a bit different. You are officially on your own for dinner, and of course, we greatly miss the camaraderie that comes from spending time in person with our diverse and energetic crowd. But I promise our program is going to be as exciting as ever, and I hope that you have a glass in your hand for the upcoming Toast to Freedom by tonight's recipient of the Sir Anthony Fisher Achievement Award. Now, the great news is that our virtual event platform can accommodate more people than any ballroom in New York City. So we've actually got more people tuned in to our festivities than ever before in Atlas history. Now, whether you are at a watch party or at home enjoying Freedom Dinner on your own, we're going to encourage you to take a selfie, post it to social media using our hashtag LFFD20. We're going to be collecting these images to share as a slideshow at the very end of our program. Speaking for personally, it's going to be great for me and for our team to see familiar faces that we miss, and also to see the newcomers who have never been part of Freedom Dinner in the past. My big hope for the newcomers in the audience is that you walk away from this online event appreciating how much is being done by the worldwide partner network that Atlas exists to support. Atlas Network is all about removing barriers to enterprise and protecting individual liberty for the long term. But we know these goals can't be achieved from the top down. So that's why we have independent partners here in the United States and in 95 other countries, each with their own locally designed strategy for implementing the ideas of freedom. Atlas Network helps our partners get better together. How do we do that? We've got a 3-minute video that will fill you in on those details. Let's run that video right now.
Well, Atlas Network is, as the name suggests, a network, and it's global. We work all around the world. We're based in the U.S. We have about 159 partners in the United States right now, and the bulk of our partners are outside, nearly 500 in total. It's a network, that is to say, organizations that share common values of limited government, of free enterprise, personal liberty, personal responsibility, and work together to advance that agenda by rolling back big government, by reducing barriers to people making their lives better through creating wealth and owning property and engaging in trade.
Historically, wealthy nations around the world have tried to help low-income countries develop. The way we've been doing it traditionally has not really been working. It's pretty controversial both in terms of its efficacy and in terms of whether it's actually doing more harm than good. There's a movement to do development differently, and that means we need to step back as outsiders and rethink the role that we're playing in helping people in low-income countries achieve their dreams.
I think history will at some point make the difference between those who were just happy alleviating poverty, happy with the status quo, and those who said no. Because we respect everyone, we believe everyone has the right to manifest their fullest potential. We are going to work on the tool for them to get there, which is economic freedom. When it comes to that, I think Atlas Network has been the best.
You know, I think everybody wants two things. They want to make a difference, and they want to contribute to something bigger than themselves. And at Atlas Network, I'm able to do that.
It's inspiring to get to transcend partisan politics. Atlas Network is focusing on, I think, the most important and moral cause in the entire world.
You have the opportunity through Atlas Network to support some really inspiring people who are working in very difficult places and achieving results.
The United States does not have a lock on the idea of freedom and liberty. Human flourishing, freedom, liberty are borderless ideas.
I do think that our network adds real value, and the reason is we're focused on outcomes. And if you look at a return on investment as a philanthropist, I think Atlas Network delivers a very strong return on the investment.
What type of legacy do you want to leave behind? This exactly is the work of Atlas Network.
So we are privileged to work with freedom champions all over the world, and the hardships of 2020, I think, have made it especially poignant to still have this intense sense of solidarity, a sense of resilience that we draw from one another. You know, partisan passions may rage around us, but our community stays true to principles that will endure forever. And what a special community this is. While the reality of time zones makes it less than convenient for some of our friends to join our event right now, we have more than 1,000 people watching at this very moment. Obviously, there is a lot of anticipation for the announcement of the $100,000 Templeton Freedom Award. This is the biggest prize program for our movement. We have 6 finalists that many of you have learned about during our Liberty Forum over the past 2 days, within conference sessions and at their booths within the expo hall. Each of these organizations will receive a $20,000 finalist prize, except, of course, the grand prize winner, which will be awarded the $100,000 grand prize at the end of the night. You will hear more about these organizations later in our program, but to quickly refresh your memory, our Templeton Freedom Award finalists are Ideas Lab in San Jose, Costa Rica, for shining a spotlight on unconscionable government waste and corruption. The Mercatus Center at George Mason University, not far from our own headquarters in Arlington, Virginia. Mercatus has gone on offense against regulations that impeded access to health care during the COVID-19 pandemic. The Center for Public Policy Research in Kerala, India, for their successes in reforming employment regulations that were especially unfair to women. The Fraser Institute in Vancouver, Canada, for its Alberta Prosperity Initiative, a classic example of how think tanks can shape a positive economic reform agenda. The Center for Indonesian Policy Studies from Jakarta. CIPS has been the catalyst to an important reversal away from trade protectionism that hurt the pocketbooks of tens of millions of poor families in Indonesia. And the Property and Environment Research Center in Bozeman, Montana, for success in recovering endangered species by using market incentives that yield better outcomes at lower cost to taxpayers. Now, this is as great a group of finalists as I can remember. So I want you at home to be thinking about who you're rooting for to claim the $100,000 grand prize. I'm very glad that you've tuned in this evening to see how the program unfolds. While the majority of you are, I suspect, social distancing at home, I know that we do have friends of Atlas that are gathering at different spots to watch our festivities. So I'm going to ask us now to go around the world to check in on some of our partners. We're first going to take you all the way to Perth, Australia, and Ron Manners and the Mancal Economic Education Foundation. Ron will be introduced formally later in our program before he gives our evening's Toast to Freedom. Ron, I understand, it's already Friday where you are. I want to thank you for waking up early, hoping you can join us to say a quick hello to all your friends around the world and tell us who you're rooting for in the Templeton Freedom Award contest tonight.
Listen, Brad, thank you for making us so welcome. You certainly are a specialist at that. I think everybody knows my favourite event of the whole year is the Atlas Freedom Dinner in New York. But there's a few travel restrictions on at the moment, so my big prize this year is that I'm able to spend this event with our friends in Perth, way down under. And we've, it's not unusual for us to have champagne for breakfast because we have so much to celebrate in Australia. Now, as to the question of who are we cheering, I must say in Australia we cheer rather than root. But who are we cheering for? We're cheering for CIPS, C-I-P-S. Indonesia, as you know, is our closest neighbour. And under Rainer Hofer's directorship, and we have been watching CIPS progress in the last 5 years, and we look forward to the further development, and we look forward, Rainer, to doing so many things with you in the coming 12 months. So greetings from down under. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ron, to everyone gathered there in Perth. Glad you're enjoying the party and being part of these festivities. We are going to stay in the Southern Hemisphere. We've got Agustin Echebarne at the offices of Fundación Libertad y Progreso in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Let's check in with him right now.
Dear Brad and all the Atlas family, it's great to be able to say hello to you and everyone tuning in for the best freedom event of the year. We have a good group here in Argentina that we will be watching, and we are rooting for Ideas Labs in Costa Rica. The problems we have now with our populist government come from people mistakenly believing that economic freedom is about protecting the rich, including those getting rich from cronyism. Of course, we are always debating against all that, and Ideas Lab shows how to actually attack that kind of corruption and achieve results. We'll be chairing them from Buenos Aires and sending our best wishes to our friends around the world who we have missed seeing this year at Atlas events. So have a very nice dinner and hope to see you soon next year in person. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Agustin. The next stop on our world tour is Boulder, Colorado. John Caldera of Independence Institute has a party going on that doesn't seem very unusual for John. Caldera, who are you rooting for this evening?
Welcome to Denver, Colorado and the Independence Institute, and we're thrilled to be here tonight. First of all, I know many of us are a little sad that we're not together in person, but there's lots of benefits to that. What we're happy about is to cheer on our fellow Americans from PERC, the organization that cares about our environment, cares about things, and they help make real world answers, including helping wild horses find homes, which is important. We have an overpopulation problem of wild horses. PERC found a policy to use incentives in order to solve that problem. Our solution was just to eat the things, but no, they wanted to adopt the things so people can now adopt these wild horses and then eat them. So to our friends up in Perk, go Perk! Congratulations, Perk! USA! 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 USA!
Wow, I didn't know what to expect, but I probably should have expected exactly that. John, I think the first time that you and I got to travel abroad together, it was to Vilnius, Lithuania, the home of the Lithuania Free Market Institute team. That's where we're going right now. LFMI is the only repeat grand prize winner in the history of our Templeton Freedom Award. Annetta Vane, let's hear from you, please.
Thank you, Brad. And good evening, everyone. As always, and despite the distance, I am very delighted to be part of this global celebration of freedom. Our team at the Lithuanian Free Market Institute have done a great amount of work on labor market liberalization. And as many of you may know, the Lithuanian Free Market Institute is mainly about women. And just this last week, 3 amazing women in Lithuania have led the Conservatives and 2 Liberal parties to form a new coalition government after an impressive upshot in Lithuania's recent national elections. So, it is a very exciting moment for me tonight to root for the Center for Public Policy Research in Kerala, India, for their amazing policy work to get rid of government restrictions on female employment. Very inspiring stuff indeed, and so much more to come for women in India. Pity, no Liberty dancing for me tonight, but I'm sending lots of love and best wishes to all our friends across the network.
Thank you so much, Annetta. Okay, I think that we also have staying up late tonight our friends at the Institute of Economic Affairs in London, the granddaddy think tank to the entire Atlas Network. Mark Littlewood, who are you rooting for?
Good evening, friends. I was so looking forward to this evening, the great grand gala dinner, getting all of the Friends of Freedom together. Sadly, of course, restrictions this year haven't made that possible. Then I was hoping I could join you all virtually, but with a real mini dinner here with my friends at the IEA in London. But unfortunately, UK restrictions mean that's not possible either. So here I am, alone, annoyed, frustrated, and nursing a beer. Now, it is fair to say that you would typically find me alone, annoyed, frustrated, and nursing a beer, even before all the coronavirus restrictions came in. But that, my friends, isn't the point. I'm so looking forward to seeing you all again in 2021. Now, what I'm here to do is to cheer on the Fraser Institute for this year's Templeton Award for their fantastic work around Alberta prosperity and indicators of it. Not only has their work led to 9 specific policy proposals being adopted, which is a fantastic achievement, but there are 3 good reasons to back them in addition to that. 1, they're from Canada. Who doesn't love the Canadians? The Canadians are the nicest people on earth. 2, Sir Anthony Fisher, who founded the Institute of Economic Affairs, my think tank, and the Atlas Network, well, he played a big role in the early years in the formation of the Fraser Institute too. That's a pretty good reason. 3, the Fraser Institute is not named after an individual or a scholar, it's named after a river. That's really cool, naming your think tank after a river. So keep freedom flowing, guys. Good luck to the Fraser Institute. Thank you, Atlas, and have a terrific night, everybody. Cheers.
All right, thank you so much, Mark. Last but not least, let's do a check-in with our friends at Universidad Francisco Marroquín in Guatemala. Gabriel Calzada, what is the mood in the room at UFM?
Good evening from the UFM, Brad. We're all very excited to be part of the Freedom Dinner. And since we are a university, we're looking for our dear friends at Mercator Center, which of course is affiliated with George Mason University and sets a great example of how academic assets can be advanced real-world policy change. Mercados have been so relevant in the wake of COVID. It's really tremendous. Moreover, this project and the analysis of the town laws are now more relevant than ever, because if we want to be able to respond to situations like the pandemic, we need to get rid of the bureaucrats, the red tape, and we need to get rid of these foolish laws. We know that only markets can help us improve the healthcare system and make it more resilient. The work that Mercados is doing will open the way for more competition, innovation, and freedom. So if you want to support a project that will improve patient attention and help save life, we invite you to support this project. A big shout out to Mercados. Great projects. See you next year in New York City at the Atlas Freedom Dinner.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Gabrielle, and everyone at UFM. You know, it's very heartening to see some familiar faces from the extended Atlas family all over the world, and to know that you all are as excited as we are about the Templeton Freedom Award competition. But first, I need to share the results of another competition that many of you watched unfold earlier today. That is our think tank, Shark Tank. This annual competition is sponsored by the Smith Family Foundation. It features 3 contestants that present 5-minute pitches in front of a panel of judges. This year, our contestants were Greg Brooks with the Better Cities Project right here in the United States, Linda Kavuka with Students for Liberty Kenya, and Roxana Nicola with Fundalib in Spain. These 3 individuals were grilled by our 3 judges who come from the world of free market philanthropy: the legendary Fred Young, independent investor from Wisconsin, Heather Ray Johnson with HRJ Consulting Limited in Calgary, and Montgomery Brown with the Pittsburgh-based Sarah Scaife Foundation. Here is a glimpse at what went down earlier today.
What does it take to win in the think tank world? Sound principles and research, of course, but also a talent for conveying these ideas in a way that grabs people's attention.
Africans must change the narrative and contribute to improving living conditions, value the lives of its people, and create new opportunities for prosperity.
It's a story 100 years in the making, but we don't think it'll take that long to fix.
We have the highest self-employment tax in the European Union, making it extremely difficult for young people to become entrepreneurs.
The 1921 Project wants to make restrictive zoning morally untenable and politically dangerous.
During the first 9 months of 2020, 430 people died or disappeared trying to cross the Mediterranean.
Spain still has one of the highest unemployment rates in Europe. The self-employment tax adds more gasoline to the fire.
My question relates to the realism of the expectation that young people can start a business. It's a very difficult thing to do.
If you're successful in any particular city or the group of cities, what the economic impact or the upside is for the people on the street of your project.
And can you also help us understand better the past context for this? Have any of these countries taken steps in this direction before?
We will now excuse the judges to begin their deliberations on their pick for the $25,000 prize-winning project.
So that's where we left off earlier today, and I encourage you all to view the entire competition, which is on our event website. But now I get to announce the winner of the $25,000 prize. This year's winning pitch in the Think Tank Shark Tank competition was given by Roxana Nicola with Fundalib in Spain. Roxana, very happy for you, for Juan Pio, and the rest of your team. And I just can't wait to see how you utilize the $25,000 in seed money that you're going to be able to bring to your project, to bring it all to fruition. So Congratulations to Fundalib. Thank you also, Greg and Linda. You both gave great presentations, and who knows, I suspect there might be a funder watching right now who might want to help advance your projects. You know, competitions like Shark Tank give us a glimpse of the promise of the freedom movement's future. And they get us excited about those, like Linda Kavuka, who have joined our movement in recent years. But as we discussed earlier today, during the Blundell elevator pitch competition, we also think it's important at Liberty Forum to remember those who built this movement, to remember those who are no longer with us. And I'm now proud to introduce my Atlas Network colleague, who occupies the George M. Yeager Chair for Advancing Liberty, Dr. Tom G. Palmer.
These occasions are always difficult to remember friends and colleagues who have left us, but they're also very important, for in remembering them, their spirits walk among us and encourage and inspire us to continue the important work that has been left unfinished. Each of those I will remember left behind loving families who mourn them. Their families are joined in their loss by the global family of lovers of liberty. Stefan Melnik was born in 1952 in the United Kingdom of a Ukrainian father and a German mother. He was educated in Bochum, Germany, and at Cambridge University. He contributed to the Liberty Movement as a scholar and as a classical liberal policy advocate, but he was best known by so many thousands of people in our Atlas network as a teacher of the ideas of liberty through his long involvement with the International Leadership Academy of the Friedrich Naumann Foundation in Germany. Stefan worked with people from every region of the world, and he always managed to bring out the best in everyone. He taught about conflict resolution, toleration, women's rights, free markets, and property rights in the environment, among other topics. He helped many thousands of people to realize their potential as advocates of liberty. Deepak Lal was born in 1940 in Lahore and educated in India and in the United Kingdom. He worked as a diplomat in the Indian Foreign Service and for the Indian Planning Commission, but he left government service to teach and undertake research in economics at Oxford University, University College London, and University of California at Los Angeles, with stints at many other organizations, including the World Bank and 2 Atlas Network partners, the Center for Policy Studies and the Institute of Economic Affairs. He published hundreds of articles in learned journals as well as a dozen books. Many people, I among them, were deeply influenced by his 1983 monograph from the Institute of Economic Affairs, The Poverty of Development Economics. Deepak served as president of the Mont Pelerin Society and was a regular presence around the world in the freedom movement, where he was known not only for the depth of his scholarship and insight, but for his wry humor and his unforgettable smile. Stephen F. Williams was born in 1936 into a family that traced its roots to the Mayflower. He was educated at Yale University and at Harvard Law School and served in private practice and as United States Attorney. He taught law at the University of Colorado in Boulder, University of California, Los Angeles, University of Chicago, and Southern Methodist University. In 1986, he was appointed by President Reagan to the United States Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia, where he served until this year. He was the author of many learned articles and books and had a special interest in the history of reform in Russia prior to the disasters of the First World War and the brutal Bolshevik seizure of power. I remember vividly how he lectured before students from Russia, Ukraine, and other post-communist countries at the summer school we organized in 2008 in Alushta, Crimea in Ukraine. Stephen introduced the students to the history that was destroyed, that was cut off by communism, and to what Russia could have achieved had they continued classical liberal reforms. Stephen was a champion of the rule of law and of the free society. Many people, myself included, benefited from his generous missives with attached readings about legal philosophy and interpretation. He was a donor to Atlas Network, a regular attendee at Cato Institute events on law and other matters. He was a gentleman, a scholar, and a warm and generous person. John Utley was born in Moscow in the Soviet Union in 1934. After the arrest of his father, Arkady Yakovlevich Berdichevsky, by the Communist Secret Police, the NKVD, on April 10, 1936, John's mother, Freda Utley, escaped with her son to Great Britain. Their experience shaped John's lifelong love of freedom. In 2004, John finally uncovered the details of his father's 1938 execution at the Vorkuta slave labor camp. The story was documented in a very moving video from Reason.com, Return to the Gulag, which I watched again this week, and which I commend to you. John was educated at the Georgetown University School of Foreign Service and worked in Latin America in the insurance business and as a journalist from 1956 to 1975. He worked passionately for decades against oppression, against statism, against tyranny, against war, and for peace and freedom. He assisted millions through his writings, and he personally helped hundreds of individuals, especially from the communist and post-communist nations, through his generous philanthropy to participate in Atlas Network events. John was passionate about his values and his principles. He was also gentle and generous. He helped people to open their eyes, but without gloating or saying, "I told you so," when they realized that he had been right. These lovers of liberty and others we have lost over the past year are still among us. Even as we feel their absence so painfully, they inspire us to complete the work that has been left unfinished.
Thank you so much, Tom. As you say, it's important for us at Liberty Forum to remember friends of the freedom movement who have passed. And of course, we honor their memories by advancing the cause that they loved. Next in our program, I want to introduce you now to the woman who tomorrow will be elected as the 5th board chair of Atlas Network in its 39-year history. And she is well prepared to help our organization and the entire freedom movement advance to new heights in these years ahead. Let's welcome Debbie Gibbs.
Thank you, Brad. Good evening, everyone. I think I am the chick between the penguins tonight. I love being on the board of Atlas, and watching the network grow and evolve over the last decade has been enormously satisfying, and there is more to come. Next year, Atlas Network will celebrate our 40th anniversary, and we have big plans ahead. Firstly, during Liberty Forum, you heard about the successes we're seeing within our Dignity Unbound program. We support locally developed solutions to poverty that respect the dignity and problem-solving capacities of the poor. We're going to scale up the successful strategy in 2021. Secondly, we are reorganizing our training programs, which help people in our movement hone the kinds of skills you see in the elevator pitch competition and think tank Shark Tank. The new Atlas Network Academy will introduce a certification process which will allow us to provide a form of professional credentialing for those making a career in advancing freedom. And at Liberty Forum, Roberto Salinas Leon announced the expansion of our Center for Latin America, which is bringing new energy to how we serve partners in that region. This exciting development was made possible by a generous 3-year grant, so an important ambition of our fundraising team in 2021 is to bring similar growth to our Center for the US and Canada, as well as our Center for African Prosperity. And in 2021, to firm up plans for energetic regional centers for Asia and Europe. We're also very excited to return to in-person conferences. Of course, we may need to make adjustments depending on how the virus plays out in the coming months, but we are preparing to resume our full Liberty Forum schedule. In May 2021, with our Europe Liberty Forum in Kiev, Ukraine, In June, with our Latin America Liberty Forum in Mexico City. In August, with our Africa Liberty Forum in Accra, Ghana. In December 2021, with our Asia Liberty Forum in Manila in the Philippines. And for our Global Liberty Forum and Freedom Dinner, we'll be back in New York City in a gorgeous new facility in Lower Manhattan called Cipriani South Street. Cipriani was selected by our astute and independent events team for its views, decor, food, and acoustics, not because it is a 5-minute walk from my house. There is a lot of momentum to the efforts of Atlas Network while we remain firmly grounded in the principles of our founder, Sir Anthony Fisher, and of course his daughter, Linda Whetstone, whom I am honoured and humbled to be succeeding as board chair. We need to pause for just a moment to say thank you to Linda for having Atlas Network in such great shape as an organisation at the conclusion of her term as chair, and for the example she sets with her own hands-on work with classical liberals in far-flung places around the world. Our equally intrepid Doc Tom gave her the nickname Agent W. She is always energetic and effective in espousing the values of a free society, and inspirational and helpful to so many, especially young people who share our ideals. Linda Whetstone is increasingly recognised as a force for freedom by everyone in our movement, so it's no wonder she was recently honoured as the newly elected president of the prestigious Mont Pelerin Society. Linda, it's an absolute privilege to serve alongside you on the board of Atlas Network, and our team has heard from many partners around the world that have expressed notes of appreciation and admiration. We've selected just a few for this short montage, a small sample of the many acknowledgements of the impact of our beloved Agent W.
When I see to the success of our works in promotion of the classical liberal ideas in a country such as Afghanistan, the first person which came into my mind is Linda Whetstone.
Hi Linda, it's been lovely to know you. I'm so inspired by your enthusiasm, energy, passion, insights, trust, support, and the love of freedom.
Linda Whetstone is perhaps the most unassuming defender of liberty anywhere in the world. I'm very grateful to have known and worked with this tireless champion of freedom.
Madam Linda, you are not only an advocate for the idea of freedom, but you are a mom who knows what a child needs to find hope. Thank you to exist, Madam Linda.
In 2011, Linda helped in convening first meeting of Islam and Liberty Network and continues to serve on its council. Thank you, Linda.
What can I say, Linda, but to thank you. Thank you for the past 16 years of friendship, advice, and network opportunities you've availed to us at Imani.
Linda Whetstone is someone who dedicated her life to the promotion of peace and prosperity around the world through defending individual liberty. Linda, we are grateful to you.
Dearest Linda, on behalf of the Arab Center, I want to express my profound gratitude for your tireless support to promoting the dissemination of our ideals to Arab countries. You are a great source of hope and inspiration. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Debbie. That is really kind of you. And I would add that Atlas Network has been a lifelong inspiration to me because of my passion for the Atlas mission to increase the freedom, opportunity, and prosperity of the millions in the world for whom freedom is still only a dream. So I should rather be thanking all of you, the board, generous supporters, dedicated staff, and amazing partners, many of whom are good friends of mine. And I know the future of the network is assured, Debbie, under your chairmanship. But now to the hero of the night, Ron Manners, who we saw in festive mood earlier in our program, despite the early hour in his hometown of Perth, Australia. And I might say, whoever has seen Ron in anything but festive mood, meet him at breakfast in a hotel dining room at 8 a.m, and you'll find him bouncing around like an 8-year-old, already having done 2 hours in the gym. Ron, you are inspiring and amazing, and a most deserving honoree for this prize, which was inaugurated last year in the name of Atlas Network's founder, my amazing father, Sir Anthony Fisher. It's a shame my dad never met Ron Manners. He is one of those fantastic individuals who, while up in years, never seems down. In fact, Ron remains so vivacious and full of good cheer. He tends to infect everyone who encounters him. Perhaps it's a wise decision that we're honouring the highly infectious Ron Manners from a safe distance during this odd year of quarantines. But surely we'd all like to catch a bit of what Ron has got. He's had a tremendous career in business and in mining, and this year has been celebrating the 125th anniversary of Man West Group, one of the longest continually operating family firms in the whole of Australia. At Atlas Network, we know him best as the intellectual entrepreneur of Mancal Economic Education Foundation, which has provided opportunities for 2,000 young adults from Western Australia to discover and explore the virtues of free societies and the role of markets. He has described Mancal's task as a simple one, to awaken possibilities in the minds of our next generation of leaders. It may sound simple, but it is certainly not easy. It takes a special combination of talents to become the Pied Piper of liberty for a whole country. And that's certainly an apt description of Ron Manners' role in Australia. It is one that earned him recognition from none other than Queen Elizabeth II, who earlier this year included Ron Manners in her birthday honours list as an officer in the General Division of the Order of Australia for, and I quote, distinguished service to the minerals and mining sectors and to youth through philanthropic support for educational initiatives. I'm tremendously proud tonight to join the Queen in putting a spotlight on Ron Manners' incredible life, as Atlas Network presents him with the Anthony Fisher Achievement Award, and as we ask him to lead our community tonight with a toast to freedom.
Thank you, Linda. I am incredibly proud to be receiving this Fisher Lifetime Achievement Award. There's a couple of reasons. And one is that I'm so happy to share a few thoughts with you tonight. And the second reason, of course, is to share a toast with you to the Atlas movement and to freedom itself. Now, firstly, let me talk about Sir Anthony Fisher. Anthony was someone that all of us in the freedom movement, we sought out our 10 minutes with Anthony at every opportunity. I have been involved with the freedom movement since the 1950s, and I remember each time I sought out Anthony, I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and I wanted to ask Anthony what he thought about that too, because I could see that he was doing stuff. Anthony told me, it's simple. Ron, all you got to do is explain to people that the human condition is made worse every time by restricting choices, and that's another word for government policies. The converse is also true, that by expanding human choices, our condition improves, and that involves a lot of individual responsibility. So that's what we just do. That's what we do. I remember that advice, and that's what we do at our Mancal Foundation in Perth, Western Australia. We remind young people of the possibilities of expanding choices and acknowledging the role that we have to play in society. So as we move toward raising our glasses, let me ask you a question. Could we imagine a world without the 500 Atlas Network think tanks? Terrible, terrible world without that. So here's our choice. Here's our challenge. It's a huge challenge. and we should move on to accept the role that we all have to play in promoting freedom. So let us drink a toast, raise your glass, and we drink a toast to our role in expanding freedom. Thank you.
And thank you, Ron. That was wonderful. Thank you for an inspired, energetic toast. I expected nothing less, and hope that you're all having fun there at an early hour in Perth, Australia. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is nearly time for the big event, the announcement of the 2020 Templeton Freedom Award. I want to take the opportunity now, however, to thank the incredible community of more than 1,000 supporters around the world who annually donate to Atlas Network to make our work possible. Atlas Network receives no government funding. We therefore rely entirely on voluntary gifts to support the work of our team at headquarters and to fund important work on the front lines of the battle of ideas. We do this through grant competitions that benefit partner organizations like those that are finalists for our Templeton Freedom Award tonight. We have received a number of generous gifts to support this virtual Freedom Dinner, and we are grateful for each and every one. You've seen our sponsors listed prominently within our virtual event space, and I'll ask that you pay close attention to the credits that will roll at the end of this production. As always, we are especially grateful to the Smith Family Foundation, which has underwritten the direct costs of our Freedom Dinner for the last 10 years in New York City. Thanks to the Smith Family Foundation, this Freedom Dinner event has become a must-attend moment on the calendar for a huge number of people all around the world. Also, let me express special gratitude to the John Templeton Foundation and the Templeton Religion Trust, two philanthropies founded by the late Sir John Templeton, which enabled us to create and now sustain this important prize program that serves as the grand finale of our celebrations together each year. For a few words now about the Templeton Freedom Award program, please welcome the president of John Templeton Foundation, Heather Templeton Dill.
Thank you, Brad. The Templeton Freedom Award has been given by the Atlas Network since 2004. My grandfather, Sir John Templeton, initiated this award because he loved prizes and he loved competition. He believed that prizes motivated people to act, and he believed that competition brings out the best. In 2001, Sir John Templeton wrote the following: "Progress thrives in the context of fair and fully open competition. God gave us the benefit of having the magnificent capacity of creative freedom. It is a common, unfortunate habit of groups in power to try to stifle this creativity and to enforce drab conformity and uniformity. This generally fails everybody over the long term, as has been demonstrated over and over. We know that humans flourish best in a system of life that stimulates novelty, innovativeness, and individuality, and that rewards new approaches, new concepts, new inventions, and new and better ways of thinking about life and its ultimate ends and concerns. The Templeton Freedom Award celebrates novelty. It recognizes innovation, and most importantly, it supports human freedom. In setting up a prize, of course, there is only one winner, even though there are many worthy organizations around the world who pursue pioneering projects in the name of freedom and free enterprise. Nevertheless, Sir John Templeton believed in competition because it benefits both those who receive the top award and those who have improved their program as they competed for the award. Furthermore, the Templeton Freedom Award provides an opportunity for all of us, funders, individual philanthropists, large think tanks, small think tanks, the Atlas Network, and similar organizations to learn about many different visionaries who are engaged in a variety of efforts to reduce regulation, implement reforms, and otherwise ensure that individual freedom and free markets will lead to greater human prosperity. This identification of amazing initiatives all around the world was one of my grandfather's objectives in creating the Templeton Freedom Award. He believed that a prize would not only encourage innovation, but it would also uncover dynamic innovators around the world who deserve to be recognized. Over the years, the Atlas Network has innovated in their own way. In 2013, the Atlas Network changed the structure of the prize by giving away one large $100,000 award. And more recently, they have developed videos for each of the finalists, as well as a longer video about the winner in order to build awareness of the good work the prize seeks to honor. In a few moments, we will honor one group with a $100,000 award for their work to implement reforms. But let me say this, all of the groups under consideration for this award are remarkable. You are doing amazing work, and you are to be commended for the sacrifices you make so that people in your community will flourish. I want to thank the Atlas Network for administering the Templeton Freedom Award. I extend my deepest congratulations to all of the finalists, and especially to tonight's awardee. May all of you have the resources, the persistence, and the strength you need to promote freedom. Freedom is not free, but the benefits of freedom are revolutionary.
Thank you so much, Heather. Now it is time for you to meet the finalists for the 2020 Templeton Freedom Award. And I'll tell you, it's fun for me to be imagining all the smiling faces of all the friends of Atlas Network around the world as you see the finalists make their way to our virtual stage. As we share each short video that will summarize an accomplishment of the award finalist, I'll announce a representative of each of these organizations so that you have them live on your screen as well. So let's start. Please roll the video about our finalists from San Jose, Costa Rica, Ideas Lab.
More than 1 million Costa Ricans live in poverty. So how do its leaders justify the luxury pensions of a few thousand people who receive up to $24,000 per month? The recipients of these unfair payments, dubbed ticos con coronas, or ticos with crowns, by the Costa Rican think tank Ideas Labs, have found themselves in the spotlight of public ire thanks to Ideas' national awareness campaign to eliminate these special privileges. Nearly 50,000 Costa Ricans signed onto a petition to end the luxury pensions that account for over 2% of the country's gross domestic product. Ideas Labs successfully leveraged the petition and media attention to demand accountability from the national government on the issue. In response to the public pressure, the Costa Rican Legislative Assembly unanimously passed a law in 2019 to slash payments for over 4,000 ticos con coronas, and Costa Rican President Carlos Alvarado publicly renounced his right to a luxury pension at the conclusion of his term. In less than 2 years, Ideas Labs accomplished what the World Bank had recommended for decades, simply by educating Costa Rican citizens on the injustices of rent-seeking at the highest level.
Representing Ideas Lab, please welcome Luis Loria. And let's now roll the video for the Mercatus Center at George Mason University in Virginia.
The COVID-19 pandemic has exposed a series of avoidable flaws in the American healthcare system, shedding light on the importance of access to low-cost, high-quality care. Across the United States, 37 state governments have Certificate of Need laws, which burden healthcare providers with an expensive and time-consuming process to expand or establish new facilities and services. These laws protect incumbent providers from competition by requiring new providers to prove that there is a need for their service in the community. The Mercatus Center at George Mason University's state-by-state analysis shows how these laws increase healthcare costs, reduce supply of healthcare services, and decrease healthcare quality. Their work also demonstrates how practical reforms would improve outcomes for all. Over the last 3 years, Mercatus research has led to more than 200 policy-related citations, testimonies, and briefings with state policymakers. Guided by Mercatus research, legislatures in 11 states have taken up reform efforts, with a major reform package passed in Florida and others pending in states such as Michigan and Alaska. The COVID-19 pandemic helped expose the sickness within the American healthcare system. Misguided policy, burdensome red tape, and a lack of competition together limit access to quality, timely, and affordable healthcare for all.
Representing Mercatus Center, please welcome Matt Mitchell to the screen. And now let's learn more about our finalist, Center for Public Policy Research in Kerala, India.
For more than half a century, the Kerala Shops and Establishments Act has regulated labor standards and restrictions for commercial establishments within the state of Kerala, India. In this state of nearly 35 million people, the law controls everything, from which days and for how many hours a shop can operate to when women can work. Since its implementation in 1960, women have been prevented from working night shifts, contributing to an unemployment rate nearly 5 times that of men and limiting their income potential. To increase Kerala's employment opportunities and correct the discrimination women face there, the Center for Public Policy Research assembled a team to educate the public on the costs of these restrictions. Their work persuaded the government of Kerala to implement significant changes that include allowing shops to remain open 24/7, introducing shifts for employees, establishing an online business registration platform, and permitting women to work past 7 p.m. This represents a dramatic shift in the communist-led state of Kerala toward improved working conditions, simplified requirements for entrepreneurs, and increased opportunities for employment, especially for women.
Please help me welcome from CPPR, D. Dhanuraj. Next up, from Vancouver, Canada, Fraser Institute.
Historically, Alberta has been a leader in sound economic governance within North America. However, that standing declined in recent years due to poor public policy from across the political spectrum. To reverse this trend, the Fraser Institute launched the Alberta Prosperity Initiative in 2012, seeking to explain to residents and government officials the extent to which Alberta's growing challenges were being driven by economic mismanagement. In a broadly distributed collection of 25 research papers produced in the run-up to the provincial election of 2019, the Institute charted a path back toward prosperity through a series of concrete policy reforms centered on reining in government activity and unleashing the power and innovation of the market. The government that came to power immediately took up 9 of Fraser's specific policy recommendations, including committing to balancing the budget, reducing taxes and regulations, and allowing for increased private competition in education and healthcare. The Alberta Prosperity Initiative's impact is ongoing, as Fraser provides a responsible, non-partisan source of policy solutions that will re-establish Alberta as one of Canada's economic powerhouses and a place of opportunity for all Canadians.
Representing the Fraser Institute, please welcome Niels Veldhuis. Now we're going to roll the video for the Center for Indonesian Policy Studies from Jakarta.
Since gaining independence in 1945, Indonesia's government has pursued a harmful policy of food self-sufficiency that imposes severe import restrictions, tariffs, price controls, monopolies by state-owned enterprises, and barriers to entry, all in the name of independence. These laws increase the cost of food, resulting in widespread malnutrition among Indonesia's low-income population. Focusing its efforts on making nutritious food widely available for the poor, Center for Indonesian Policy Studies' Hak Makmur campaign contributed to the reduction of import restrictions on beef, corn, rice, and other food products, resulting in an estimated savings of $1.9 billion for Indonesian households between 2016 and 2019. In a paradigm shift, government leaders now acknowledge that protectionism makes food less affordable, and they are more likely to liberalize trade in order to achieve food security. The Affordable Food for the Poor project has not only increased access to food in Indonesia, it has laid the intellectual groundwork for a drastic reduction in poverty in the coming decades.
Representing CIPS, please welcome Rainer Heufers. And last but certainly not least, from Bozeman, Montana, the Property and Environment Research Center.
Protecting endangered species is a bipartisan priority. But while the Endangered Species Act of 1973 has helped to prevent 99% of listed species from going extinct, only 2% of those species have recovered their populations. To improve this sorry track record, the Property and Environment Research Center, or PERC, launched its Recovering Endangered Species project in 2017, aimed at enhancing outcomes for endangered species through market-based incentive structures that leverage both private and public conservation efforts. PERC led a diverse coalition and robust media campaign to contextualize the need for reform, resulting in the adoption of its top 3 recommendations by the US Department of the Interior. This includes the restoration of the Act's original 2-step approach for newly listed endangered species, equal standards for listing and delisting a species, and the revision of regulations that discourage private conservation. A second set of PERC's policy proposals were adopted by the Bureau of Land Management to tame the wild horse crisis in the Western Rangelands, which has nearly 4 times as many horses than it can healthily sustain. PERC's solution incentivized private adoptions, and in the first year of the program, adoptions increased 91%, saving taxpayers $170 million in future costs, and showing how collaborative conservation improves outcomes for animals and humans alike.
Representing PERC, please welcome Brian Yablonsky. Gentlemen, thank you very much for being with us. It's an incredible body of work that you have brought to the Templeton Freedom Award competition this year. Each of these finalists will be taking home a $20,000 prize, except of course one of them, who will receive the $100,000 grand prize and the 2020 Templeton Freedom Award. The winner has been selected by an independent panel of judges with expertise in our industry. The roster of judges will be scrolled at the closing credits to this production. Each judge sent his or her ballot directly to the accounting firm of Hendershot Burkhart, which audited the results, and which has sent us the identity of the winner, which is concealed in an envelope now in the hands of Atlas Network's incoming board chair, Debbie Gibbs. Debbie, welcome back to the stage. Are you ready to announce our winner?
Wow, yes, I am. Drum roll, please. And the winner is the Center for Indonesian Policy Studies. Congratulations, Rainer.
All right, Rainer.
Thank you. Wow.
Rainer, do you have a few comments?
Well, this is unbelievable. For us, this is already Friday morning, and I tell you, it's Friday the 13th, and it's not that bad after all. It's a great honor for us here to receive the Templeton Freedom Award 2020. Wow. We're following in the footsteps of great think tanks from the United States, Lithuania, Mexico, Egypt, last year the Philippines. I mean, this is a global award. What else can you hope for? We are grateful to Brad and the whole team of the Atlas Network, Chris Stewart and all the others at the Templeton Religious Trust, and also the expert jury that actually gave us this award, selected us for this award. So this is, I mean, who we want to really mention at this moment. We won this award for the work that we did on the food trade, but on the other hand, we also want to continue. We will not stop here. This is an ongoing fight that'll take us a few more years for sure. We will count on the support of you. We count on the financial support of the audience here. We count on the collaboration and the coalition building with everyone here. You know the beautiful images of rice terraces in Bali. That's a good photo op. But at the end of the day, it doesn't tell the story of farmers breaking their back in the heat, 100% humidity. They cannot get out of poverty. The children are leaving them because there are no perspectives for them. There need to be solutions for this. The solutions do not lie in some protectionist policies. The solutions lie in improving productivity. And for that, we need open markets, technology. We all are aware of this. And so CHIPS is going to fight on for that so that these farmers will eventually be able to escape poverty. We have today with us here all staff members of CHIPS. We have our trainees here. We have all senior fellows. We have all the board members. And not just this, our good proofreader from Canada, Janet Bufton, cooked an Indonesian meal for us tonight. And so we're very grateful to everyone in the team. The John Templeton Foundation has been supporting our efforts right from the beginning. So we're very, very grateful to them today. Special thanks go to Amy, Kimon, Jessica, and all the others there, but also to Bobby and Dan, who were there right from the beginning. The late Don Smith has been there at a very crucial point of our development. So we're also grateful to Don and Julie and the Smith Family Foundation also for helping us forward. And last but not least, we have these individual donors with us today, and Marion, Dolores, Michael, Stephanie, Chris, Karen, Robert, you're just representing a wider group of people who've been cheering for us tonight, just like Ron Manners and the Mancal team did earlier, for which we're so grateful. CHIPS is a proud member of the Atlas Network. You have given us inspiration and support. And likewise, we are very happy to give support and inspire others. So anyone who wants to get in touch with us, do so. We're very happy to help, to cooperate. Thank you so much. It's a great honor.
Well, thank you very much, Reiner. Congratulations to the remarkable team that you've assembled at the Center for Indonesian Policy Studies and the really inspiring work that you've been accomplishing these recent years. It really has been a source of joy to see how that's progressed and to see it honored now by our judges for the Templeton Freedom Award. Thank you also to the other very worthy finalists for the TFA this year. It's a remarkable group that we put together. Thank you again to the Smith Family Foundation, to all the sponsors whose names will be scrolling at the end of our closing credits sequence. Stay tuned for that, as we're also going to be showing you the photos that you've been posting to social media with the hashtag LFFD20. I hope that everyone in this audience has enjoyed your time with us at Freedom Dinner. Newcomers in the house, please visit atlasnetwork.org right now and learn about how you can get involved in this amazing cause that transcends partisan politics, that knocks down barriers to enterprise, and respecting the dignity of every individual. This is the key to creating a future of peace and prosperity. There is a lot of work to be done in 2021 and beyond, so let's get to it. Looking forward to seeing you guys in person at an Atlas Network event in the coming year. In the meantime, stay safe. Thank you for your involvement with Atlas Network. We're going to roll the credits and listen to a Little Big Star.
Just a small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. Just a city boy, born and raised in South Detroit. He took the midnight train going anywhere. A singer in a smoky room, the smell of wine and cheap perfume. For a smile they can share.